Okay, so we will get started with our collection updates, and we've got this broken out into two sections. So the first section is going to be updates to our existing collections, and these updates will be coming a little bit sooner than our actual new product launches. At the end of the presentation, we'll be going over our new product launches, and all of these launches are expected to happen closer to Q3. So we can go ahead and get started. So the first update that we'll be talking about is our new dual roller shade bracket. This new bracket is available now. You guys should have gotten an email about this earlier this week. So any new orders placed for dual roller shades will be shipped with this new bracket. And the new bracket offers a slimmer profile. It's about 2 inches less than the old bracket. So it's great for installing in a window if you've got a narrow depth and someone wants to have the functionality of a dual bracket. This one is great for that. This bracket can also be installed with our box valance. If you are installing with the box valance that's outside mount, we recommend ordering that with 5-inch returns. And something that I haven't mentioned actually in previous presentations, so if you are joining us for another session, make sure you note this down. You should order the box valance in the 6-inch size, not the 4-inch size, to cover the full bracket. Obviously the bracket's a little bit long, so ordering the 6-inch valance does cover the full bracket. And we've got the bracket here. We can show you guys.
Oh, come on, go back to hand model mode.
Chris is in his element. Yeah, so the bracket is always going to be silver, and it will always come with a white bracket cover. And Chris is showing us the control end, and there's the idle end. There's the white color. Stop it. It's clearly day 3. One other thing to remember on this bracket is both shades do have to have the same control type, and the controls have to be on the same side on each shade. And you can do that with either clutch or wand or remote motorization. Unfortunately, no cordless. The next update that we'll be going over is our dual sheer fabric update. So this is going to be a fabric addition to our dual sheer shade collection. All of these fabrics will be available to order in April of this year. So with this fabric update, you are going to find some new textures that weren't available in our collection before. We got the feedback that it was really nice to have linen-y type textures to sell. We also are adding a really nice sheer pattern to the range that we've got installed here that we'll give you guys a look at. But the update will include 29 new fabrics. It's going to be included with new sample book orders, and it will be available as a complimentary sample pack update for existing books. So anyone that has ordered a book from us in the past will automatically get this sample pack update. You don't have to worry about placing an additional order for it with us. We'll automatically send it to you. So we can take a quick look at the shade that we have installed here today. I think Chris has got it.
Oh, it's a beautiful.
Chris is ahead of the game. Okay, so this is that sheer pattern that I was just talking about. This one will be available in 4 colors, I believe. And it just gives you the option to have a sheer dual sheer shade whenever the shade is all the way lowered, rather than only having the view through while the horizontal bands are aligned. So that's just an example of one of the fabrics that'll be included in this update.
Can we just talk about how fast this took off?
Yes, let's talk. Why don't you go stand over there? Oh, no, you can't because of the microphone.
Oh, no, I've got to stand there.
Yeah, you actually got to sit closer to that.
I managed to hide the wine bottle before you swung
Right.
Oh, good.
This is actually the fastest growing, best startup product that we've ever launched. So I think we launched this in July of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the response has just been huge. And we actually had a franchise yesterday who asked us, should I be carrying this product? Is this product actually selling yet? And I was joking that I first saw this fabrics for this in 2005 and said it'll never sell. And the fabrics back in those days weren't very good, but they've come so far now that the quality of the weaves, the different textures you can get, and this product is absolutely taking off in our view. This is, I think now this year we'll see that the sales in this product will probably be close to 25% of our roller shade sales. So it's making a big impact in the market. So if any of you are on the fence about it, it seems to us from what we're seeing that pretty much across the board, you know, geographically, this product's really strong.
We were also mentioning yesterday, one of the great things about our dual sheer shade collection is the price point that it's in. It's very aggressively priced, and it is a really seamless transition from the roller shade into the dual sheer shade. As a matter of fact, the lower end of the price points on the roller shade or the dual sheer price per bay are in the actual roller shade. So if you have a conversation with your customer and they're kind of like, well, I don't love the idea of all up or all down, but I do want something sleek and you know, it can get all the way out of the window. This is a great consideration with the position that we've been able to price these. So just don't count it out.
Absolutely. Are there any questions on?
No,
On that?
Sherry just said, look out, Vanna, and I commented he looks fantastic in a dress.
Oh my goodness.
I do actually. I haven't thought about that.
Oh, God.
Maybe not now. Maybe
Happy
for
hour,
lunch.
happy hour.
Join us for happy hour for the big story. Wow.
It's very funny actually.
Pro Design, ever professional.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to drapery. You guys are mic'd.
I know. I know. We're just enjoying ourselves.
That's right.
My goodness.
Go on, sorry. Very nice.
Anyways, board-mounted drapery panels. We've got two great updates coming to our drapery collection in the next couple of weeks. Board-mounted drapery panels will be available in April of this year. And with the board-mounted panels, you've got a couple of options. So we do offer the 3.5-inch return or the 6.5-inch return. So it's very versatile for your install. If you do need to mount over something, you have that option with the 6.5-inch. We also have two widths of the board. So you can either have a full width, single width pinch pleat panel installed on this board, which is that top photo on the left, or I'm sorry, on the right. And you can also have the option to stack your panels a little bit smaller with a more narrow width board. And that would be about a 12-inch board width. The full width is about a 26-inch board. And here we have got the full width board installed. So I can show you guys exactly what it looks like. And this is also paired, you will notice, with a beautiful fabric Roman shade, which we'll be going over in just a little bit. But the board mounted panels are great because they let you install drapery panels without having to purchase hardware in addition to the panels. We do not have the price yet for these panels, but like everything, or for the boards, but like everything in our drapery collection, they will be very affordable. And you can see that they just install to either side of the window. We have wall mounted ours with an L bracket, which we'll show you in a moment. You can also do a top mount with this and just drill right through the board if you prefer. And we will switch over to our other camera where our chatty Cathys are going at it. And they will show us the board mounted panel. Okay, so Amy is our Vanna now, and she has got the narrow width board mounted panel. So this is the one that will give you the more stacked look in your pinch plate panel. And do you have the L bracket too?
I do.
So if you do want to install it to the wall, it will ship with an L bracket that will mount to the wall, and then you will screw the board into the L bracket, or you could also do top mount and just drill straight through the board. And then one other thing to note on these boards, if you do order pinch pleat panels with them, the pin set will be automatically adjusted so that the top of the panel hits the top of the board. Was that everything on those? I think that covers everything. Any questions on that?
I've got loads.
Just see if anything's come up on that.
All good. Okay. So again, that option will be available in April. We'll send out updated product guides and an announcement once it's available to order. Another update to our drapery collection is ring ready drapery panels. We have gotten quite a few requests for this header option since we launched the program. So we've been working out the construction of this with our factory. I think it's a really nice, relaxed header look for those of you who do want to install on rings without using the clips to attach them to the header. So this option is coming really soon. I hope to have it available mid next month. We just need to finish up the materials around it, get it updated in your product guide and added to our ordering system. But we're really close to launch. We'll again send out a notification about it. This option does come with the pins, again, will be preset, and they will be preset at a 1/2 inch. That's going to be just like our standard drapery pin set on a pinch pleat panel. And we've got these installed today too, so we can show you what they look like installed. So both sets of the panels at the front of the room are installed with the ring ready header type. And you can see it gives just a nice relaxed look at the top of the panel. And again, you don't have to use the clips to attach the rings to the panel. I really like this header style. I'm seeing it a lot in like Pottery Barn and West Elm and places like that. And again, we've gotten several requests for it. So hopefully it is a nice addition for you guys.
Before we move on to the next thing,
Mhm.
we have a couple of questions that are good ones. Could you go over again the width of the boards, the two options for the boards on the
Yes.
panels?
I am a bad marketing director and I can't remember off the top of my head what the exact width is, but the full width panels, I believe, are about 26 inches and the more narrow width panels are about 12. And those we'll have those listed for you in your product guide with the exact board width once we launch this option.
And then we're also being asked if the fabrics in the stock drapery collection. Oh, and thank you so much, Liz, for that question. We would love to send you a stock drapery collection sample book for your question.
Yes.
We're trying to be fun and engaging. The other question was, are our fabrics machine washable? And the care instructions that we suggest are that everything is dry cleanable. Nothing should be machine washed except, well, not except for, everything is dry cleanable except for the arbor patterns, which are the ones that, I don't think you can see them on camera, but they have like the silver trees. There are 3 colors of it in here. There's an ivory right here, and then there is gray and a black, or like a charcoal color. And those are just not washable or dry cleanable.
And all of the
Spot clean.
all the fabrics can be spot cleaned.
Spot cleaned with just a mild, either water or an extremely mild detergent,
Mhm.
like baby shampoo or Clear Dawn or something like that.
Yeah. I've gotten a few stains on the drapery before trying to adjust the pin set if I install my rod a little bit too low. So a few blood stains here and there, but they do wash out with a mild detergent.
My passwords. I can see how that happens.
Okay, in this next section, we're going to be going over our new product updates. So these are going to be totally new collections that we're introducing. Just to reiterate, these will be available in Q3 of this year. We do not have sample books available to order at this time. Once we get closer to the launch dates, we'll be sending out a notification about these options. And the first collection that we're going to go over is our Portfolio Roller Shade collection. This is going to be a brand new roller shade collection. It's in addition to the roller shade collection that you guys have now from us. And in this collection, you are going to find just a whole bunch of really nice, really sophisticated, gorgeous fabric textures and colors. With this collection, we have got a bit more of like fabric-y roller shade fabrics, a little bit less plasticky, not so much of the polyester. So they've just got a really nice look and feel to them. And I will actually let Chris speak to the origins of this collection, where it's coming from, how we are getting these new weaves of fabrics, and give you a little bit more detail on the collection itself.
So the original origin actually of this whole concept came from, I think, when Tracy went to the RMT in Stuttgart a while back now, a few years ago, and saw a lot of the really, really nice European woven fabrics, which are you know, just a different texture, a different feel from a lot of the standard fabrics you see in roller shades. That kind of morphed into this program, because the other thing we were being asked by a number of franchises was, can you do something about the fact that I'm competing in my area with the Shade Store? And the Shade Store had built a program around these European looks, and we'll show you a bit more about the component side as well, but that related to both the components that were available and the fabrics. And it is definitely true that the fabrics that are woven in Europe do look quite different to a lot of the other fabrics in the roller shade business. We started working, thanks to an introduction from Tracy, with a roller shade fabricator in Europe. They're actually based in Poland. And they had just set up a highly automated custom assembly plant in Poland to supply the UK, and now we're working with them to bring their product to the US. So it's our usual business model of air freighting in, keeping the production close to where all the fabrics are being woven, so that you hopefully have an easy availability to new designs and new developments, and then air freighting them in. So typically we'll be looking at the same sort of 2-week type turnaround that we have with our current roller shade program. And the idea of this program is that it's really bringing that higher end look, that more designer look that will give you something. If you are competing with a Shade Store in your area or somebody else like that, it will give you that ability to go after that type of business. So we're really excited about that. It's the first time we've done a program out of Europe. We've been working on it quite a while now, and I think we've got some really cool fabrics and some really cool components that are going to go with this line. So that's where this all came from. We got asked the last couple of times we presented about pricing. This will be slightly higher than our current range, and it will certainly go out the top of our current pricing range in terms of options and fabric prices at the top end. But the one thing I would say is that we have no doubt that this product will be extremely competitive with the Shade Store, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you the ability and the ammunition to go out and beat them in the market. So we will be able to do that.
Awesome. And speaking to fabric textures, this shade hanging behind Chris is actually one of the ones that will be in this collection. Oh, hold on. I've zoomed in and no one saw that.
Oh.
Go ahead. There you go. So this is,
It's really soft, yeah.
Yeah, it's a sheer roller shade fabric that does have a kind of linen-y look to it. It's one of my favorites in the collection, and we are actually adding quite a few sheer roller shade fabrics in this range. I think that they are going to be really nice to have. And then this shade behind Amy is an example of one of the print styles that will be in this collection. So this pattern is a pigment print, which gives it a little bit more texture. The print stands out a little bit more with light coming through than on a digitally printed shade. The collection will also have digital prints, and to help make those digital prints stand out on the shade when the light comes through, the prints will be printed on a nice textured light filtering or blackout fabric. So it's available both as light filtering and blackout, just like our current roller shade collection. And I'm not sure if you can tell in that close-up that there is some texture to that pattern that just gives the print a little bit more of a depth. And for those of you who tuned into our trend talk, all of the prints in this collection were designed with the prints that we've identified in mind. So hopefully they are a really nice option for you. We also mentioned components that are going to be available in this collection.
Thank you for the cue.
So this collection will come with the metallized component upgrades. We're going to have 4 different colors of open roll end caps that you can upgrade to. They will include stainless steel, chrome, black nickel, and old brass. And these really do give just such a nice finishing look to your shade. It's a really designer style upgrade. We installed it. You can't see it so well on camera. The shade installed on the door actually has the old brass end caps. We'll snap a picture of that and post it on our Instagram this afternoon so you guys can get a better look at it. But it's just a really nice designer finishing option.
Can I just say-
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They're metal. They're
Mhm.
I could try not to drop this, but it's I mean, it's a solid metal. It's a good quality piece. Also
It's around there somewhere. It might be on the other side behind Chris.
Set it down somewhere.
So those of you who know the shade store line will know that a lot of the components, in fact, all of the components in that line are coming from Coolise. So as we started working with the factory in Poland, Coolise got involved in this program. So they are a part of this program. These are Coolise components. It is the Coolise control sets and control options. And a good number of the fabrics are Coolise as well. So that's why this may look familiar if you're used to seeing that.
In addition to those metallized component upgrades, we will have just the standard white, beige, gray, and black. And then we're also going to be adding the color anthracite. That is not a color that we offer currently in our roller shade range, so that will be something new. And then as far as top treatments are concerned, you can see on Amy's board, we have got the fabric insert rounded cassette. So this will be available as an option in the 5 standard colors that we will offer for components. We'll also have square cassettes available. And Chris has found the metal bracket. You can hear that it is metal. Put it closer to the microphone. It's real metal.
Real metal.
Drop it on the floor.
No, I've lost my, oh my God. Okay, so it is Friday. And yes, we will show you guys the fascia too.
I like that.
Sorry, we're all going a little bit crazy. It is, very much so. So this shade is installed with a fascia. So we'll also have the fascia available in the 5 standard colors that this collection offers. And I think we can switch back to the presentation. Another great feature of the fabrics in this collection are eco-friendly fabrics. We'll have fabrics that are woven from recycled plastic, recycled PET bottles, all eco-produced, eco-friendly. That's kind of along the lines of bringing the outdoors in, just having a more natural aesthetic in your home. So having those shade fabrics that are eco-produced is really nice. And then the control options in this collection will include clutch, cordless, and motorized, and we're hoping to launch this with our a system similar to our Easy Lift system in our current roller shade collection, as well as Exact Lift. We are working on the Exact Lift option for this. And here's just a close-up view of what those metallized components look like. You can see the black nickel, old brass, chrome, and stainless options, and then the designer bottom bar available in chrome and stainless. Okay, another feature of this collection that we are really excited about is the CGI component. So you have the option to go into this CGI and style the shade that your customer wants. So you can tailor everything that your customer is ordering, the fabric, the control option, the top treatment, the component color, everything can be tailored to exactly what your customer is doing. This is something that we've been asked for quite a lot. People need to have a visual of what their shade is going to look like before they feel comfortable to go through with that purchase. So hopefully this will help you guys to do that. And we will have pre-staged rooms available in our CGI component. So it will be living rooms, bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens. Unfortunately, you will not be able to upload your customer's own room into the CGI component, but we'll have a lot of different styles, a lot of different room sets for you to choose from that hopefully give them a really good idea of what to expect. And this is just an example of what you can do with the CGI component. So here we've swapped out the fabrics, we've swapped out the top treatment colors, just a really nice way to get an idea of what to expect. And then finally on this section, the CGI component does allow you to show your customer the scale of the prints. If they do choose to order a print pattern, they can see exactly what the repeat will look like on their size of shade. Okay, the next new collection preview that we will talk about is our natural roller shade collection. This,
Sorry, before you go, there's a few comments on this.
Oh, yeah.
That maybe it would be good to like close out this topic.
Yep.
Going back to drapery, our drapery guru on here put out a fun fact that your own spit will remove blood from.
Oh, good.
It's true. It's like something.
Good
your
to
own-
know.
Just don't.
Was that from Sherry?
It was from Sherry.
Oh, that's great, Sherry. Thank you so much.
Licking people's
Don't-
Sherry always gives the best drapery tips.
Sherry knows all the.
She's
Why are you licking
fantastic.
my ribs? I'm getting the blood off.
Krista thinks that we're cool. We also think she is super cool. Let me see. Fun fact, I wonder how Sherry knew that. Very true. So endless. Megan is excited for this book, so are we. We're talking about the roller shades. now.
Nice.
Many requests for that fabric feeling, less plasticky feeling. I have to say,
Awesome.
this one literally does feel like, it feels like linen, just a starched linen,
Mhm.
maybe. Got asked, will these books be available after convention at this price? The books are gonna be available a little bit more towards Q3. So rather than take pre-orders, which, is just a systematic kind of nightmare for everybody involved, what we'll do is just send out an announcement as we get closer. We're kind of the company that prefers to have them actually sitting in our warehouse before we announce that we're taking orders for them. So then we
We
can.
learned that the hard way. by the
We
way.
learned that the very hard way,
Yeah.
but 5 years later, we're still in pain. So we will send out an announcement as we get closer about the launch of the roller shade books for all these new collections. And then Liz commented that it's 5 o'clock somewhere. We let her know that you asked us to participate more, and we're sure you're very sorry for that. And wants to know, Chris wants to know, Chris wants to know if the CGI component will be iPad usable. Do we know that?
So we're still in development on the CGI component, and I am not an expert on CGI.
Because a lot of people. use
Yeah,
iPads
I
for
imagine,
presentations.
I can't imagine that it won't be compatible on an iPad. It's just, yeah. So it should have that functionality, but that is a great question, and we will confirm with our supplier.
Okay, so I think that's it on the roller
Anything
shades
else?
and draperies. Then
Okay,
Don't spit on your drapes. Well, do spit on your
I guess
Yeah.
do spit on them.
If you bleed on them.
Okay, so another new collection coming in Q3 is our natural roller shade collection. We will keep you guys updated on the launch of this. We are pretty far along on the development process, so probably looking at this one for early Q3. And it's going to have 30 to 40 natural fabrics included in the range. And we'll actually switch back to Chris. He's going to give us a little bit more background on the collection, where the fabrics come from and why they are so special.
So it's maybe a little known fact that until we joined with Budget in 2016, we really didn't do anything outside of woven woods and natural shades at all. We were always a one category company basically, and so one of the things we've been trying to do for many years is to be able to make a natural roller shade. And probably years ago, back in 2010, 2011, we actually marketed bamboo roller shades. but they're difficult to make. It's difficult to mill bamboo so that you get a really uniform product that will roll up straight and does not get insanely thick when it's on the roll. And so we've been looking at this for a long time, and about a year and a half ago, we started to see the materials that we wanted to use, which are wood pulp based. So it's basically a cellulosic wood pulp fiber product. And the product that we're using is coming from rejuvenated forests in Chile and New Zealand and Canada that are forests that were cut down and are now being planted with fast growth, sustainable white pine and spruce and different conifers. And so we're taking that source and making wood pulp fiber, and then it's being spun into yarns, and the yarns are being used to make textile fabrics, much like a cotton yarn might be. So what we've got now is a sort of engineered natural product that is capable of making a roller shade. And a perfectly good example is this shade here behind us, that is in fact the wrong remote, which is motorized with our standard motorization system. But as you can see, what it gives you is it gives you a huge amount of texture. You get way more texture than you get, with a typical roller shade fabric. So what you've got is you've got lots of texture. Even from a distance, you see it. And I don't know if we can, if you're.
Yeah, she's zooming on it now.
So you get lots of texture. The other thing you get is you get that natural look without having, in a light filtering fabric, without having the rings and the cord trail and the cord showing through the shade. So you get a much cleaner, it's kind of like a more contemporary look with a natural product. And the other thing, of course, is that it stacks into a much smaller stack. So unlike a Roman shade where you've got that stack hanging down in the window, which sometimes you want, if you're looking for that contemporary
Something to roll
look,
completely
you don't
away.
exactly want that. So this rolls completely away. I don't know if we can go to the front
Yes.
and just show you one other design there that we've got, which is the shade that's behind the drapery panels. And I think what's really interesting again is that camera, how far are you away? 20 feet away?
About 20 feet, yeah.
But you get plenty of texture still. We can see it here. It's like a sheer vertical stripe.
It does get slightly blown out in the camera, but
It's really visible for us here. But the other thing is that although this is a natural product, and so it's that natural screen concept we were talking about, in the trend report, but it goes so well with draperies. So you've got a product that can look really clean and contemporary in the kitchen window here with nothing, or it can actually be dressed nicely with draperies. So that, it'll go in different types of decor. And that's not traditionally, I guess, somewhere. I suppose with some of the white meshes and the newer products, you might see them in this type of application, but with old style bamboo, So we're really excited about this product because it just gives you that contemporary look with a natural product. We've got some other patterns here on the table. And we talked again in the trend report about the importance in the natural sector of white and how difficult it is to get a bright white. It's really hard to get a bright white with a bamboo or with the jute. A bamboo in particular, because you are not painting the product, you're dyeing it. So the natural substrate will always show through. And jute, you cannot bleach to get it white, and it doesn't grow bright white. But with these paper products, you can really get them, in some really nice, bright white colors. So we think that's going to meet a need as well in the natural segment. The other thing I'd say about this is because they're dyed as yarns or as textiles, their color fastness is very good. It's better than a typical bamboo shade would be. So we've had it tested to the ASTMS standard and it performs just like our roller shade fabrics do. So this whole program, it's actually pretty close to being done technically. We'll be making sample books. We're looking at Q3 launch. It'll probably be the first of these new programs that's going to come out. It will be in its own sample book because it's so different from everything else that we're doing. There, it'll have all our usual standard control options, exactly the same as all the other Inspired Shades products, so clutch and chain, cordless. We have an exact lift type. It's a different component system. We have an exact lift type cordless system for this, so it just goes wherever you put it. This comes from the same cordless component manufacturer as our Roman shade system. We're really excited about that. And then we'll have the one control, the standard Inspired Shades motorization options, and of course the smart home motorization options, so they'll all be available. There's a couple of caveats I would say about this product, just so people really understand it. You will find that it will have slightly wider light gaps down each side than a typical roller shade. And that's because these materials are not woven as tight as a standard roller shade fabric. So they're more liable to stretch and move laterally. So we've got to make sure that we keep them away from the components on each side, so they're not rubbing on them. So that's just, it won't be a huge difference, but it's just going to be a little bit more of a gap there. And the other thing is, we're working on a dual shade bracket like the one that we showed you for the roller shades, so that we can actually put a blackout liner behind this. So you're going to have a shade configuration that will give you this beautiful natural texture in front and a blackout liner behind, so that you can get blackout or privacy when you want it. Some of these patterns are actually woven quite tight, so
Yeah,
you get a variety of, that one's the tightest, that one over there.
This one.
Yes.
Yep.
So that you can get some reasonable privacy.
Might be too close to see.
Privacy pretty easy.
So
So this one's,
Whoops.
on this side is pretty, the beige one is pretty, got quite
Pretty
a
opaque.
degree of
Mhm.
privacy. So we see a lot more development of new patterns coming in this area. I think this is going to be a good growth product.
Let me ask about the price points on this.
The price points are going to be somewhere in the B to C price group for our current woven wood line. So this is not a super expensive product. It's
Woven wood or
woven wood.
woven wood?
Woven wood, yeah. So this is not a super expensive product, you know, and so it'll be more than, you know, an opening price point roller shade, but it's going to be very comparable and competitive with our standard woven wood shades.
You got a frowny face on Q3.
Well, we are pretty far along in
We
the,
might make Q2 on this one, if possible.
we're trying to pleasantly surprise everyone with our launch dates by saying Q3. We are actually we're quite close on a lot of these things. Maybe it will be a little bit sooner.
This one we can actually make shades now, so we just haven't got sample books made for this.
But we could only make them without the ability to have that liner behind it.
Yeah, we
At
cannot
this
make
moment.
the dual shade at this moment. no.
So we've already learned if we tell people, should we launch it without the liner and then add that later, they'll be like, yes, yes, yes. And then as soon as you do, they'll say, where's the liner?
Well, that gives
It's
us
fair.
gives us a motivation to get it done.
So
They are working on it.
push, push, push.
No, they have a prototype of that dual shade bracket. So this isn't, you know, this is something that we're really working on. And what's cool about it is, unlike the woven woods where you're getting, you know, the choice of liners that you're getting, here we can just use roller shade fabrics as the back
Correct.
fabric. So you've got more options for better liners. Let's put it that way.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, this no longer feels like gentle nudging. This is like full on shoving.
Oh, they're smacking it now.
It doesn't say get me the, yeah, book or anything, but yeah, it's close.
Well, good. Glad you guys are excited. Okay, that's all the questions, right?
Yes, that's everything for right now.
Okie doke. So the next new collection that we'll be coming out with, admittedly, this one is the furthest not along, so probably coming a little bit later in Q3, will be our fabric Roman shade collection. This collection is going to feature really nice fabrics that can be sewn into Roman shades. And I have one hung up here that we can show you guys. Come on. So with this collection, we have We have been asked to create a fabric Roman shade option that is really similar to the simplicity of our woven wood and natural woven shades. So same options that we have available there, same control types, same cordless system. The shade that Chris is operating is actually on the control system that we use in our woven wood and natural woven collections. So it's going to be just a really nice, simple Roman shade program. And we really invite you guys to give us your feedback on Roman shades. Yes. So you can see the back of this shade is lined. It has a white light filtering liner. And it has the rib pockets on the back of the shade. We will offer rib pockets on the back of the shade and the front of the shade, as well as flat panels and hobbled panels. You can also get waterfall, which is the way that this one has been constructed, or shades with a valance. But yeah, the program is just meant to be really simple, give you guys a nice, affordable Roman shade option, really simple, similar construction to our woven wood shades and natural woven shades. We are working on the fabric selection, and I can give you guys a peek at what we have so far over here.
We were actually asked if this was going to be their own fabrics, or can they use drapery fabrics?
So we are not doing COM on this collection. It will be the fabrics that we show in our sample book. And here is just an example of some of the fabrics that we are adding.
Oh, I got that wrong. I think,
What is it?
I read it wrong. She's asking if they'll have their own, will it be its own separate?
Oh,
collection,
yes,
or
it will.
be drapery
Yes.
collection?
It will be
There
its own
might be
collection.
Some crossover, some fabrics that are in both, but.
Yes.
not-
So with your drapery collection, the fabrics that are currently in that, there's a lot of really lighter fabrics in the range, and we found that they just don't hang as nicely, they don't lift as well. So we are looking at a totally new fabric selection in this range with potentially some crossover from the drapery collection. But you can see we've got just a lot of really nice natural textures. I honestly think that this is a nicer fabric selection than the current drapery range.
Can I just add something?
Yeah.
as well? That this range is coming from the same factory as the roller shades and the same factory as the drapery panels. So even though the fabrics they may not be exactly the same, we're able to keep a really close eye on making sure that all these ranges coordinate with each other, so they don't look like they come from a totally different place.
Right.
But we just, because of the way Roman shades need to drape and they need to fold up straight, you know, we need to make sure that the fabrics work well for a Roman shade.
Yes. And we are definitely taking suggestions on fabric styles that you guys would like to see in this range.
Rebecca's favorite.
I do like this. It's a nice little textured dot. I think it's very cute. And something that we are curious about is shears in a Roman shade. I've seen some shears in Roman shades. They're not my favorite. Not sure how popular of an option that is. Are shears something that you guys need? Feel free to chat in and let us know if that's.
We asked this the last 2 days and got completely opposing answers, didn't we?
Yes,
Some
very
people
much.
are positively for shears as Roman shades, and some are totally against them. So we're kind of interested. We think some of these would make really, really nice draperies, but
I am looking at a lot of these shears as an update to our drapery collection because the shears seem to do quite well. So you may be
So your
seeing a couple
concern
of
is
these there.
as a Roman shade, you'll see the cords and the rings.
Yeah,
which
just-
are behind the shears.
Like someone described it as a shade skeleton. So just, is it something that you guys like to have the option to do, or not so much? What else? What have I missed?
Top panel, bottom panel.
Oh, yes. So we did get a question yesterday about this collection, if the top panels will match or the bottom panels will match. We'll make that available as an option to you whenever you place your order. So whenever you are placing an order for multiple Roman shades, you can select on the order if the top panel will match as far as the fold is concerned, or if the bottom panel will match in terms of the length. feel like I'm missing quite a few other things.
And you've got some questions here.
Let's hear
Have a
them.
good time? Okay.
Yes.
Specifically about fabric Roman shades, so she asked if they would have a separate book or would they be able to use the stock drapery collection? Will any of these fabrics also be available as stock drapery panels? I think if I'm reading this question right, we've been asked it a few times, Karen as well. If it's important for people to have matching fabrics in Romans and panels, side panels, could you just chat in and let us know that that's an important look that people go for? Because it seems like everything we've seen has been kind of coordinating, but not necessarily matching.
Yeah, the one caveat I would mention there is that there's, the stock drapery panel program was engineered and the fabrics are selected to be able to hit a really, really keen price point, a low price point for a stock program. We can't promise that these types of fabrics would be available at the same price point as the stock drapery panel program.
Yep. All the fabrics, they all are able to make Roman shades or drapery. So yeah, if they are available as drapery, just know that it would be a higher price point.
Kenya Wright asked if this is when will it be available? This is a Q3?
Q3, probably later Q3 on this one. We're finalizing our fabric selection, getting the construction and everything down. So
your heart on this one, Sherry Brown is really excited about this, and she was available if you need any help.
oh, fantastic. Great. Sherry, I didn't know you were a Roman shade expert too. I'll be calling you next week.
And I think we did ask the other two sessions, if people sell Roman shades now and like selling Roman shades, and you have fabrics that looks, styles that are particularly important, tell us, because we haven't finished picking the range yet.
Yes.
So we can always go back and look for those fabrics and add them to the range. So you can really have an input on, how this range is going to look.
And you guys are really seeing how the sausage is made with this, with all these fabrics laid out on the table. So this is actually like how we pick our fabric ranges, is just lay out tons of swatches, grouped by color, figure out what's missing, what needs added, what textures we need, what colors. So it's a pretty fun process. So seeing a little bit of behind the scenes at Pro Design.
You like your selection of reds.
There is no red.
One of the regional operations managers is asking if any of our shade products are available in specialty shaped windows. That's a frequent ask. Thanks, Debbie.
We can do arches and angle tops or angle windows with the woven wood and the natural shade collection, yes. We haven't actually advertised it.
Yeah,
We haven't made it a thing, but we can do it. That's the only one I can think of at the moment that we know how to do.
Alan thinks I look cold. It's probably this enormous scarf. I was so proud of my trendiness that I didn't realize it looked like I was also wearing a coat.
You're also wearing a turtleneck and a sweater.
It's actually not that
It is a little chilly today,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
yeah.
Any other questions?
No, not about Romans.
Nothing? Okay. Well, just to reiterate, all of the collections that we reviewed towards the end of this presentation will be available in Q3. Keep you guys updated on the launch of those, and we'll let you know when sample books are available to order. Now might be a good time to go over some of the updates that we did for our collections in 2020.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool, because I know you're going to talk about that, but I just want to, reiterate it again. We, our work and what we do is, you're over there now.
Yes.
We try to develop products that you want us to develop. So that's really, really important to us, is that we get the feedback from you about what needs to be improved, what needs to be different. What needs to enhance your ability to sell the product. And so I think Amy wants to talk a bit about, things that we've done in the last year that came from you guys. So.
Yeah, we actually, it was just out of a casual conversation at the office about how much you guys have impacted or influenced the collections and the things that we've added. I don't think we've had an original thought on our own. So in addition to the big launches we had last year of the stock drapery collection and the dual sheer shade collection, we made some much quieter improvements to our existing collections. And if I go back to, convention, right after convention, we introduced quite a few new fabrics to the Roller Shade collection with a focus on 110-inch wide fabrics and also fabrics that were available as both light filtering and rim darkening in the same fabric so that you could get that whole house look. You had a lot of bright whites, a lot of blues, a lot of grays or taupey kind of colors, all of which have done really, really well. So that was added to the Roller Shade collection at your request. We had a little bit after that.
All of the fabric colors and textures that we added to were in response to franchisee requests.
Then we upgraded the remote control motor shortly after that to have a micro USB charger. So have done away now with the regular AC charger. I also want to say AV.
And we do have the new Motorhead coming too.
And we also have a new Motorhead coming. Thank you so much for bringing
Yeah,
that up.
I just remembered.
For installers everywhere. When the Motorhead was redesigned, they, I think, didn't really consider the difficulty once the motor is programmed and the control button or the reset button is positioned. It's oftentimes, because the charging port is down, the reset button is either 45 degrees behind or in front of, so often in a cassette or against a wall. And you'd find installers on site trying to reset a motor for whatever reason or pair it to another remote and couldn't get to that button easily. So the factory, Dooyai actually, the manufacturer, was kind enough to completely redesign the Motorhead at your request. And now the reset button and the charging port will be much closer together, easily accessible for someone if they need to do that. We later introduced, because of the trend towards black windows, we introduced black open roll, and also black raceway bars. So this is the black raceway bar, kind of just blends more nicely for that, seamless open install with the black in a black window. So this is now available as an option. We also introduced the box balance. We had a lot of requests for top treatments that would cover multiple shades across an expanse. Cordless is not an option in our 2-in-1 cassette, offering. Also for panel tracks, we were asked to, kind of upgrade the balance offering for that, or sometimes just have a standalone inside or outside mount, kind of pop of color or something in a window, maybe even going over a completely different product. So the box balance was introduced. We have a 4-inch and a 6-inch version of it. You can get it with or without returns, and the returns are removable, and they hinge out in like this. So those are some of those things. We added to our woven wood and natural woven collection last year a couple fabrics that were great sellers in other, I don't know how to say this delicately. I want to say it before I stick my foot in my mouth.
We heard that they were good sellers and that we should be able to offer them. So
Yeah, there you
we
go.
did.
So we did. And they've done very well, and we managed to keep those in stock nearly all the time. So that was added. And anything else you can think of? I feel like, the little color chips, if you've not seen those, the little cassette color chips that we offered, a lot of franchisees saying, how do I show my customers conveniently the different cassette colors? So towards the end of the year, we had little key rings with small chips of those that we sent out at no charge. If you didn't see that, there's a place on the Inspired Shades website to go in and order as many of those as you need. New books are shipping with those in it, so that's already clipped in the book for you. And drapery. Drapery was such a great thing. I mean, after all the effort that Sherry and Rebecca and everybody put into this collection, got it out there, it was super excited, or everybody got really excited, but asked for extended widths. It was initially just going to be single and double widths. Then people asked for triple, quadruple, and no sooner did we have quadruple than we were asked for a 5-width panel. So we could probably go on for days, but we're stopping at 4. And so those are just some of the other things that we added as a result of your suggestions. So please keep them coming, do listen, and we're excited to have them.
I think we're always particularly interested as well to hear from installers, aren't we? So, you know, we had some comments that our bracket system on the dual shear shades is not particularly tolerant. You've got to be careful where it's not easy to get it level. And so actually we've got samples here. We haven't actually installed anything with them yet, but we've got samples of a new bracket system for the dual shear, which hopefully addresses that problem. So we'll test it and then we'll come to a conclusion. But we're always trying to make sure that whatever you're suggesting to us, we can take that to the factories and try and improve the programs.
A couple of suggestions that came in. Noelle's asking if all of the new collections will be available with the smart home motor. Yes, everything.
Yes.
And Alan has asked this question several times over the years. Can they put an off button on the wand for child safety? Or, you know, to stop children from playing with it? And I know that we looked into that, and I know the answer was that would be really, really difficult, but I don't remember why.
I don't know that I've ever.
It was early on, like 5 years ago.
I was 5 years younger then.
It's something we could definitely ask about.
Yeah,
I
That's a
think.
really good question.
Yeah.
I don't see why you can't,
But yeah, we'll ask.
because
them.
you've got, I mean, it's just a switch that you can turn it off.
They put a switch on the motorhead.
Or seams on a wide box balance, so if people are butting two box balances up against each other. Will
That's
we
something that
introduce
we've
stones?
That's something that we've talked about.
We've talked about
doing.
that. We've also seen a really creative solution that some of the franchisees have been doing. They've just been either, if you're butting two against each other, you've obviously got one leftover return or two leftover returns, or you can just ask the factory to send another one. They're just taking it off the hinges and then screwing through the back and mounting this fabric wrapped return over the seam. So why am I showing my computer? The camera's I'm showing you, Karen, because I can see you right here. So,
Keystone.
yeah, Keystone would be a great option. And then also asking if the new dual bracket, the new slimmer dual bracket can be swapped out with the existing one. And I believe I read something this morning that the answer on that is
No.
because the component
Uses a different tube.
The bracket is different. So new orders will have the new bracket, former orders will have the old bracket, but unfortunately we can't take something out of the old one and put it in the new one.
Something that we do have the functionality to do now is take an open roll shade that was not ordered with the dual bracket and
Yes.
put it into the new dual bracket. So you
Yes,
weren't
I
able
can
to
do
do
that.
that before.
Yes.
So if you have someone that wants to add a dual bracket after the fact, they can do that with just a standard open roll shade.
Right. So yeah, that's a new thing. And then as far as the presentation being available online to view,
It is available.
It is
If you scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen, you'll be taken to a page on the Inspired Shades website where you'll have the option to fill out a form where you can give us feedback on all of our collections. You will also have the download link to access the presentation yourself. So you can download it as a PDF on our website by scanning that QR code. And we'll send out an email too on Monday next week announcing the winners of our contest. And we'll also have download links for all of the materials that we have been sharing with you throughout the week.
that looks like it.
Okie doke. Well, I think it is a good time for us to start our section on how to work with Inspired Shades.